If you're clicking on this video, you've probably hit a plateau in your business. Probably looks something like this, right? You've gone up, 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 down a little bit, up, and you've come here, right? So why? Well, you've hit a monthly income peak. You're working all the hours, you're charging the same price, you're onboarding the same number of clients, and let's be honest, the market has changed too. And also your funnel probably sucks, right? Getting probably low views, like 300 views, 400 views on your videos. You have no followers, even after posting so many times. You're posting random reels begging to go viral. It kind of looks like this, right? The hook, you have the problem, the solution, the CTA. That's probably what you're doing right now for the formula. Or you have static and low quality creative ads with absolutely no budget, right? And with these, you're praying for more leads, and really all you're getting is low quality ones, if any, right? So what is the big question? How do we fix this? Well, there's two things. First one is organic content and a personal brand, right? This is the former strategy. It would be basically something like this, right? You'd get cold, unqualified leads through the organic, if any, and also through the ads. Right, through the organic, you have no testing, you're inconsistent with posting. There's actually no plan of action in your content. You're just posting, hoping to go viral or get quality leads or get seen by your target audience or whatever. You have no personal brand, right? You're not memorable. You don't stand out in any way. And Instagram hasn't categorized you by a specific niche, right? And through your paid, right, you're not positioning yourself as an authority, which is, kind of the same thing over here as well. You are doing direct to purchase ads, right, with no lead magnet, and the market has changed. These just don't work as well anymore, right? You have no budget for the ads. So how do you expect the ads or the paid to even work if you have no budget? And you simply don't run A/B testing, right? How do you expect a certain ad to work if you don't test it in the first place? You're trying to see results. You're trying to get all these clients, right? But your competitors are actually testing and you're not doing anything whatsoever. So how do you expect to see growth when your competitors are doing way more things than you're doing and you're not doing anything at all, right? Which brings us over here to the new strategy. And with this, you're going to get warm and qualified leads, right? Same thing. You have result, organic, and the paid versions. With the warm and qualified leads that you get, you're going to be very consistent and you implement the necessary modifications in your content, right? You're running the flywheel system instead of the funnel system, which I'll explain in just a moment. Instagram has actually categorized your account as having a specific niche, which is very good, right? Which means Instagram realizes you have competitors, so it's trying to make you reach out that target audience that your competitors have as well. And you actually have a good personal brand, right? You stand out in a specific way from your competitors, which makes you memorable, right? And which positions you in an authoritative manner. And maybe you're also authentic to your audience, right? For paid, you have the flywheel method, and you're also running warm retargeting ads. You're not just doing the cold funnel lead, ads to funnel strategy anymore, because that just doesn't work as well. You position yourself as an authority, and you're also authentic, which again, same thing over here too. You're very consistent. You're also testing the paid stuff, which is super important. And you've actually just understood that ads are going to be an investment. First of all, they simply don't work like they used to do. And second of all, you actually have a good organic presence, right? And with this, with the flywheel system too, having an organic presence is basically the foundation of your paid, right? Because ads are made to scale nowadays. If you don't have a foundation to scale, it's not going to scale. But if you have a foundation to start with, a good base, right, that's going to go so much farther. It's just going to go up all the way, right? But if you just start with ads with no organic presence, it's really not going to go anywhere, right? Because if people go on your paid ads and they don't know who you are, or you don't have any kind of organic presence, or they've never seen you before, or you don't have any followers, whatever it is, there's no reason they want to trust you, because people are in a trust recession right now, right? There's no reason they want to follow you or listen to what you say if you can't prove what you're saying actually makes sense and you've implemented this for either yourself or clients before, right? So this is the first strategy, organic content and personal brand. The second one is actually group coaching. And I'll explain why this is so important, right? You have the one-on-one mentorship, which is probably what you're doing right now, right? And the system is going to look a little bit different. We have result, effect on you, and also deliverables for your clients. For the MRR peak, this is why you've hit such a peak, right? For the effect on you, you're working the max amount that you can. You're basically just alone. You don't have a business partner. You don't have a team. You're not running any automations. It's just you doing all of the work on the fulfillment side. and also the ideation side and everything like that too. You're working the max amount of hours. You're probably working 80 hours a week, and you're charging the same price just to end up at 30, 40K a month, whatever it is at the end of the day, always, no matter how hard you work, because you can't work anymore. You're just maxed out on the effort and the amount of time you can put out. And for the deliverables, because you're maxed out, because you're just so burnt out, people have no incentive to want to actually push forward, because they can tell that your energy is just drained. And it's a one-on-one thing, right, with the current mentorship that you're doing. So they have nobody to push them besides you. And if you're so focused on other people and also this person, it's not going to end well, right? They have no accountability, right? There's no one. Kind of the same thing as the incentive, right? There's no accountability to actually succeed besides the kind of upfront purchase in your mentorship they purchased. There's less overall knowledge received, because again, it's just you trading time for money. This person only learns as much as you teach them. And if you have no time or energy to teach them, they're going to get less overall knowledge to receive. And there's just going to be less value received as well. Kind of applies the same principles. And that brings us over to the group coaching model instead, right? And with this, we have the potential for infinite scalability, right? More overall income is generated because you're not trading your time for money directly, right? You can easily 10x the time to work ratio that you're doing, because you're not directly working with just one person, right? You can work with so many people at once, right? You have a lot more time freedom, because maybe you can hire other coaches in your group coaching platform, which gives you a lot more time. And also the people in your group coaching platform have access to a community of other like-minded people that keep them accountable, that push them forward, that answer questions for them, so you can have a lot more free time to yourself, because you basically have an army of students helping other students, right? And same thing here. There's just less effort that you need to put in over time. Yes, there's probably more effort into the actual coaching setup side of things to actually get this group coaching mentorship set up. But after the couple of weeks that it's actually set up and it's good to go, it's a lot more sustainable, saves you a lot more effort, a lot more time, a lot more money actually. And again, it's infinitely scalable. And deliverables, you can actually provide more resources, right? You can give a community, group coaching, implement certain systems, have coaching calls, you name it. You have access to that community that I mentioned, right? Which people really want. People are held accountable by other people in that community, and they can actually install certain systems that you teach them, right? Because you can actually have more time to do these things for people, instead of just trying to work with each one-on-one client they're working with, right? And another big person in this niche of info, right, is Max Inhouse. And he said courses don't work anymore. He tweeted that out. I'm just going to say one-on-one, right? We'll say one-on-one doesn't work anymore. People want more. They want more community. They want more accountability. They want installable systems. And when you combine everything, it's not just info. It's the holy grail of offers, right? That holy grail of offers really is, right? It really is group coaching. And he's absolutely right. And this is going to bring us down here. I'm going to explain this stuff a little bit more in detail, right? And for the organic content, you have the old model and you have the new model, and you have what I call the newest and the best model, right? Which is what I coined. The old model is just the funnel system, right? You have a cold lead that comes through your cold ad, and then they're expected to pay thousands of dollars with you without even knowing you to become a high-ticket client. So the end goal you can receive is a good case study, and rinse and repeat that whole system, right? Because the more case studies you have, the more social proof you have, the more clients you're going to be able to hire, because people trust you more. Now, for the new flywheel system, again, hashtag, or, quote unquote new, right? For the new flywheel system, right? You get a follower. Maybe it's through ads, right? Or maybe it's just through posting organic content, where you get a follower, and that follower is curious about what you do. And maybe they see that you have some kind of mentorship or something you offer, so they turn into a lead, right? They're kind of interested, but they don't want to spend thousands of dollars with you directly, because you need. Do you know the statistic which says, like, you have to spend 7 hours consuming content, or see you 7 times before they want to buy from you? It's really true, right? So with organic content, it's a lot easier to spend more time with you than obviously through ads, because if they spend 7+ hours or see you 7 times through ads, organic content, it's so much easier, especially if you have a big presence already. So that person sees that you have something, right, and they're very interested, so they turn to a customer. You might sell them a digital product of some kind, or maybe it's a low ticket offer of some kind, right? Some kind of low, cheaper purchase than your normal than your normal price that you're charging right now for your main high ticket offer. And once they actually enjoy this, low ticket or this digital product you've sold to them, right? They trust you a lot more. They understand like, oh crap, like this was very, very valuable. I wonder what his high ticket is like. So they're actually going to invest in that high ticket group coaching or one-on-one mentorship that you have, become a high ticket client. So again, they can become a good case study and rinse and repeat, right? But this new system that I actually coined, I think is even better. Why? Let me explain, right? So you have the cold lead, you have, going to purchase, thousands of dollars from you, right? Directly to turn to a case study. And you also have that flywheel system, follower, right? Turn lead, turn customer, turn high ticket client, turn case study. But what's even better is doing both, because think about it this way, right? You're going to have those people who slip through the cracks, who don't even really care about your online presence, and maybe they haven't invested in current mentorships or past mentorships from other people, so they're not burned by how saturated and how sometimes scammy the info space is. So they're going to trust you a lot more off the bat, right? And some people just understand the value of what you're selling through ads. Maybe it's an impulse buy, or maybe they just like immediately need your service that you're offering or your help. So you're the first person they see, they want to go with you, right? Which is why it is so key to still run, cold ads sometimes, right? But in tandem with the flywheel system, because you want the flywheel system, you want warm retargeting ads, and you absolutely need an organic presence, because right now the flywheel system is just better alone than the funnel system, right? But if you actually combine both, if you have the money to invest in warm retargeting ads, you have the time to invest in organic content, and you have the money to invest in cold ads, right? You're going to be off so much better with this newest model that I created, the best model, I'm not even sure what to call it, than you had with either the funnel or the flywheel system, right? So implement both if you can. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money, right? And this is kind of going to bring us over here to that one-on-one and group coaching, right? So this high ticket client that converted from the funnel system is, let's just pretend they're going to do the one-on-one, right? So it's a high ticket client. That high ticket client or lead turns into that one-on-one mentee. That one-on-one mentee either does, right, they get the desired outcome, or they simply don't, right? And if they do, you get a good case study, you get a good review. You probably burned out a lot trying to teach this one person and teaching, 10, 20 plus other people as well. But at least you got a good case study, you got a good review, and you got paid, right? But what if they didn't see it, right? What if they didn't get a good desired outcome that they wanted, or that you even promised in your guarantee, right? Because you were so burnt out, because you were so maxed out on time and hours, right? Potentially you lose all the money you just charged for them. You lost all your time. You get a negative review. So it actually backfires on you. You waste time, you waste money, and you actually are going to convert less people overall because of that bad review, right? What happens with the flywheel, right? Or the group coaching, right? So we have that high ticket client. With the group coaching, they're going to turn to a high ticket client. Then they turn into a group mentee, and then they get access to a like-minded community of people, which makes it, first of all, a lot more welcoming to them than just you, right? Because they can actually see and get access to all the people you've directly helped. We're going to help them to and pass down knowledge maybe you've forgotten about, or that's more clear to other people, right? They get on-demand coaching modules, right? The course modules they're actually teaching in the group coaching program itself, right? They're also going to get access to all of the resources. Maybe it's past coaching calls, maybe it's system implementation, maybe it's how to do certain things, right? Aside from the coaching modules, right? And then with this, there is basically, if you play your cards right, if you have a good community, if you have actually good stuff, and you don't overcharge for this, right? Because you don't even need to, because you're going to get so much people in here. There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to get a good case study and you're going to get a good review, and you can do this hundreds of times with a really good community, right? And let's see, let's go back here a little bit. And if you do both, right? If you do both, right? This high ticket client turns into doing both, right? Which you have either a group mentee, or you could have a one-on-one mentee, right? I just explained both of these systems, right? Again, same kind of thing that's up there already. But what's good about this, right? What's good about having both, actually having both a one-on-one program and also a group coaching program, and not just one or the other, is people can actually choose what they want, right? And it actually gives you leverage, because now you can justify increasing the price of your one-on-one mentorship, because your time is so much more valuable, right? you actually have this group coaching platform that people can choose already, that they're already getting so much value out of. But if they need specific help with one thing, or if they want a little bit more intimate help from you specifically, they can do that if they have the budget, right? They can actually get access to becoming a one-on-one mentee, and you can charge so much higher for this. So your lead qualifications, the standards basically skyrocket, right? So you're only working with the best of the best people. So you can charge the best of the best prices. And the people who don't have access or don't want to do that or just simply can't do that with their resources can get access to the group coaching instead. And you can either downsell or upsell, right? If people have already gone through your one-on-one, they can get downsold. If people have not gone through group coaching, right, but they see you have a one-on-one mentorship and they're like, oh shit, like this is just too much money, I'm going to go with this instead. It is a perfect system to pick and choose the value that you want to provide to the specific lead and what kind of suits their budget instead. Hope it made sense, right? So with this, right, again, group coaching adds a justified price increase for one-on-one since time is more valuable and more time and effort is put into ensuring success of one-on-one mentee. And again, you can either upsell or downsell this, right? So how do we do group coaching? That's probably the blinking question right now. Well, simply put, you choose one of these platforms, right? You do either WAP, Circle, School, Discord, Slack, or Teachable, right? WAP is great. Circle is great. School is a little bit outdated in my opinion. It's good if you're charging like a recurring subscription service, but it's not as like community oriented. I probably got out. And it's not as valuable, right? The interface of WAP and of Circle is so much more modern and new. School is just a little bit outdated, right? These programs are so much better. And Discord, it's not great either. First of all, it was meant specifically for gaming in the first place. And second of all, it's really just like a community, right? It's very difficult to do proper coaching on there. I've seen low ticket communities and courses and stuff, but if you're selling something very valuable, you're going to get a lot more out of what you're selling through either WAP or through Circle. And Slack is kind of the same thing, but it's business. It's basically a business focused Discord, but it's actually not even as good because if you have a lot of people on here, it's going to charge you a premium. So don't do that. And Teachable, don't even use this one. Like it's just irrelevant. Don't even use that. So if you want to choose one of these, I would go specifically with WAP or Circle. Personally, I like Circle because I hate the interface of WAP, right? I just love Circle. It's so much easier for me. All the mentorships over $10,000-$12,000 I've invested into certain things, right, have been through Circle, and I just love the community platform user interface aspect of Circle. I just don't like WAP as much. And with this, you can kind of use any payment processor you want. With WAP, you're kind of forced to use Stripe, and I just don't really like Stripe either. Right? So again, you're going to pick one, preferably these two. And personally, I like Circle, but it's total personal preference here, right? And you're going to get that community. You're going to be able to do on-demand course modules. You're going to be able to do weekly or multi-weekly coaching calls, which is super valuable for the client. And again, if they want even more access to you, coaching calls and whatnot, they can just get upsold to the one-on-one mentorship, right? Number 4, they can maybe get access to other coaches, if possible, in that group coaching platform, because maybe you have to outsource to more resources in that Circle or that WAP community that you're doing, right? And maybe you can hire other coaches or maybe students already who've gone through your program and know, or like the student turns into the master, right? Maybe you can hire them to actually teach other people in there for, maybe it's a rev share or a flat fee or something, or maybe it's like a monthly retainer of some kind, right? And then you can do maybe to add even more valuable sauce and more value to the group coaching that you're doing, you can add maybe a certain number of one-on-one calls, right? Let's see. I know this is a typo, so forget that. It was meant to be possible if you couldn't see. But for the one-on-one calls, right? Maybe your coaching program or your group coaching, right, is maybe it's 3 months long, right? So let's say 3 months, right? Maybe what you could do if you have the time. That's a terrible 3 months. I'm just gonna get rid of that. If you have the time, right, in a 3-month period that a person has access to your group coaching, what you could maybe do is, do maybe one personal call per month. And I cannot write right now. One personal call per month, right? Which means if you have time, a 30-minute, 45-minute, maybe 1 hour call with each student that you have, once a month for that 3-month period. Maybe it's once in that 3-month period. Maybe it's multiple times, whatever it is, but this adds even more value. Maybe it's like a checkup call. Maybe it's, like a kind of like a rundown. Maybe it's like just It could be anything. It could be about anything, right? So that's super valuable if you can add one-on-one calls to your group coaching as well, if you have the time, if you're not working with too many one-on-one students right now. And also, right, call recordings, recording all of the calls you take, the weekly calls you take, right? This is going to be like the group coaching calls with everybody combined in it, in that group coaching community. It's not just, you with one specific student, right? And without doing any of this stuff, you need the best proper launch sequence, right? None of this group coaching just does not work if you don't have a good launch sequence, right? Your one-on-one can be totally okay, but that's because it's super easy to kind of like spot that you're doing a one-on-one, and people can kind of like understand the value of like working with you one-on-one. Group coaching is a little bit more difficult, right? If you don't have the proper hyped up or story launch sequence, it's not going to be able to work. So if you want to find out how to launch a group coaching offer properly, effectively, to the max potential, to do a 14, 15-day story launch sequence, right? To actually maximize the effect of what you're doing, right? You can work with me one-on-one. I have my landing page and my call page in the description below. We can work together if you'd like to. If not, that's totally fine, but I can show you how to do the proper launch sequence as well. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.